Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers on Stu Balls Gaming. Today, we are going to continue on with our base we've got here. Um, in the last episode, we built some solar panels and we upgraded our base a little bit in order to be more sustainable. In this episode, we are going to talk about some of the flaws we have with our very simple first base that we have here, and that is related to power. So, as you can see, the sun is straight above us right now, and our solar panels are not very efficient. And this one right here that is yellow, it actually isn't making any power at all. So this is not a good situation. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. So our basic refinery, it currently has plenty of stone inside of it, and it's not processing. If you look at our solar panels, we currently can only output like maybe 60 kilowatts, and we need 330 in order to run the basic refinery. This isn't a normal problem whenever we... That's embarrassing. Add that to the blooper reel when you run into your thing and die. Luckily, I have my thing close by, so I was able to access it. I'll just pull the tanks off of it. So, like I was saying though, oh, it's because my dampeners are off. There we go. So we didn't have this problem when the sun is low on the horizon, and we can change our orientation of our solar panels in order to try to fix this. We can add more solar panels, but what happens when it's nighttime? That doesn't solve this problem. So we're going to talk about our first solution. Our first solution is we're going to go into the G menu and we're going to go to build a battery. So here's the battery that we're going to be building. We need a large grid, and as you can see, there's a lot of components that we need here. So I've added that to build queue, and we are going to have to wait apparently. It's all queued up, don't have enough power for it yet. So let's kill some time. So lucky for us, I'm back, and I remembered that we have our survival kit here, which is currently working on building those things that we need in order to put up another solar panel. And the sun is getting in position now where it really doesn't matter, and we should be fine either way. But I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to build this real fast. Just so you're aware, so that noise you're hearing, that is normally because we don't have enough power. So what is happening is either the assembler or the refinery is stopping. And if we take a look in here, we probably can figure out which one it is. Yeah, that looks like it's fine. It would appear as if it's the refinery is not functioning optimally because it doesn't have enough power. So just so you're aware that that is the noise it makes. If you want to get real fancy, I know there's a way to, I've done it a couple of times, where you build an array and you use different components that will essentially face the sun at all times when it's in the sky, giving you optimal power performance the whole time. I'm not going to be that fancy at this beginning part. This is beginning survival. You're not going to have those materials beginning to build that. So that one should come up, and we should have enough power for everything to run. And as you can hear, different sound now. It's running optimally. So, back to building our battery, which we don't have enough stuff as of yet because this is still running. Inventory is full. So our basic is finally, you can see that we are maxed out on our volume that we have. So let's pull things out. I'm obviously clicked on that button a couple of times more than I needed to, so let's cut the rest of this off for now. Okay, so I've got my battery here, and I'm going to place this. Well, this is a block you can kind of stick underground if you want. I choose to normally stick it kind of under the ground just to protect it, so that if a meteorite or whatever else, it's not. If you place it up here and either somebody comes to attack your base, it's just easier to attack, and it's more likely to get destroyed. Power goes out, everything stops working at that point. So why is a battery so important? So the battery, what it does is, if we look in here, so there's this little keypad, we're going to K on it. As you can see, it's currently in a recharging state. But if I come over here and say, I want you to build some stuff, I'm going to just click on some stuff over here and go to our control panel. It's slowing down, and eventually it'll switch and it'll discharge only. Say the sun goes down and those solar panels aren't useful. Now this is going to be in a state of discharge, and it essentially corrects out that power. So right now, when I'm not using the refinery or the assembler, the battery is going to be charging at a great rate. And so that just essentially equalizes our power. The other thing we can do, though, is we can use an oxygen generator. So what this O2 generator is it takes ice and it spits out oxygen and hydrogen, depending on what we're asking for. As you can see, this block we're talking 4 ports on it. So I'm going to stick it in this orientation, which then gives me 3 ports on this close side to me that I can do whatever else with. So we're going to start welding that up. The key thing in this situation, because this is the only access we have to it, I don't want to weld this up completely, because then I can't access it. So I need to get all the materials I need for this, and then I'll finish welding it. So as you can see, as I click the middle mouse button, we're still waiting on a couple of things. Okay, now I have all the components. I'm going to build this up. Okay, at this point, now I have this oxygen generator. Cool, I had one of those on our basic rover over here. And okay, so why did I need this one? So the purpose of this is we are now going to put an engine on it. It's a hydrogen engine, and it will essentially run, this O2 generator will take in the ice, which I've already gone to collect from a site way over there. I went and picked up a bunch of ice. As you can see here, we've got thousands of kilograms of ice. So it converts it into that, and then I put my hydrogen engine, which then takes it and turns it into energy that I can use. So the hydrogen engine has 2 ports on it, and one of them is kind of in a good spot, and the other one is not. It's kind of a rougher spot to build on. So I'm going to build it in this orientation. And so it appears if I'm not going to have enough to finish this, and so I need to go mine, which is kind of the name of the game. At the beginning part is making sure we balance our resources for what we have and what we need. And then in the next couple episodes, we're going to be working on making this whole process of mining more efficient and turning this into something that's a little bit easier to do. So I'm going to mine some more stone real fast, and I will catch you when I'm done. Okay, so I should be able to withdraw almost everything now. We are short on a couple steel plates, which I'm currently refining some stone to get those made. So with withdraw them, we should be able to make this at least functional. Awesome. So now we have our hydrogen engine, and as we can see, looking inside of it, there is our O2 generator needs stuff, but our engine is currently empty. But something to bear in mind is it can be filled with hydrogen. So essentially it creates almost a battery of sorts where it stores up hydrogen for later use. So let's test it out. We are going to come over here and we're going to grab some ice, which I mined over there like I said previously. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drop it on my O2 generator and it's going to start disappearing. That helps when your ports are lined up. The port's over here and the second port is on the end, and the port I was trying to line up with is over here. That's my fault. That isn't to say that that trick that I showed you about exiting out doesn't work. It does work, and sometimes this does not fix it. So we might have to exit out again if this doesn't work. Now that the ports are lined up, because that's how the hydrogen flows into this engine. Perfect. They must have fixed that in an update recently, but the motor's turning, and if we look in here, that ice is going to be decreasing fast. If we look at our engine, we are currently producing 5 megawatts, and our battery is going to recharge in 30 minutes, and our ice is very quickly draining. So word of wise on this one is to turn it off. This is something that I normally do. The hydrogen engine is essentially a backup if our batteries get too low. Say we're in the middle of darkness and I'm working on something and the battery dies. Crank on the hydrogen energy, crank this on, get it running, and it provides power, but it's not a very good long-term solution to run ice, especially at the beginning of the game where you don't have a whole ton of ice. I could take a bunch of trips over there in the rover, but it's not the most effective thing. Whereas the solar panels, we're going to just keep it closer to the edge. Currently, we're recharged in 4 hours. The battery itself is, let's see, stored right there, 1 megawatt hour, and our max stored power is 3 megawatt hours. So really we're a third power. That should hopefully get us going for a while. Those 4 panels on top are doing a lot right now, and that should be good. So that is all I wanted to cover in this episode today, was essentially upgrading our base to make it more power efficient so that we can use our base at nighttime as well as during the day. Because prior to this, we could only use it whenever these solar panels up here on top saw sunlight, direct sunlight. And so now we have this hydrogen generator and this battery. The battery, equals out the power. So when I'm not using this stuff on base, those solar panels, the power is still getting used. It's going to be put into that battery so I can use it later when the sun sets, which does happen in this game. Thanks for joining us, and I hope to catch you in the next one, where we're going to work on building our first craft besides our rover here in order to make our mining more efficient. We'll catch you in the next one.